Welcome to the podcast where we explore true crime, mysteries, and the unexplained. In this episode, we'll discuss Ted Bundy.
Before we begin this podcast, viewer discretion is advised. This podcast includes talk about murders, abuse, and violence, etc.
In the annals of criminal history, few names evoke as chilling fascination as Ted Bundy, a notorious American serial killer and necrophile. Bundy's life and crimes have left an indelible mark on the public concentration. This podcast aims to develop into a twisted psyche of Bundy, exploring his early life, highest act, and aftermath of his reign of terror.
The journey into Ted Bundy's dark world begins with his early life. Born Theodore Robert Bundy on November 24, 1946, in Burlington, Vermont, he grew up in a seemingly ordinary middle-class family. Bundy's childhood, however, was not without its challenges. Raised believing that his grandparents were his parents and his mother was his sister, he later discovered the truth, which some believed contributed to the development of his disturbed psyche.
Bundy's academic achievements and charming demeanor masked the sinister reality. He enrolled in law school at the University of Puget Sound and developed a facade of normalcy while harboring deviant desires beneath the surface.
Ted Bundy's crimes escalated from petty theft to horrifying acts of violence. Beginning in the 1970s, he embarked on a murderous spree that terrorized multiple states, earning him the moniker the Campus Killer, and later the Lady Killer. Bundy targeted young women, often luring them with his charisma and fiend injuries. His modus operandi involved abducting, assaulting, and ultimately murdering his victims. Bundy's ability to blend into society and manipulate those around him made him a highly elusive and dangerous predator. Estimates of his total number of victims vary, but his brutality left an enduring impact on the collective psyche of the nation. Bundy's reign of terror came to an end when he was apprehended in 1978. His arrest marked the beginning of a legal saga that would unfold in courtrooms across the country. Bundy, acting as his own defense attorney, engaged in a make-break courtroom spectacle. He was eventually convicted of multiple counts of murder and sentenced to death. Despite being on death row, Bundy managed to escape custody twice, further adding to the mystique around his case. His escapes and subsequent recaptures intensified public fascination with the man who seemed to defy the confines of justice.
Ted Bundy's journey ended on January 24, 1989, when he was executed in the electric chair at Florida State Prison. His death brought a semblance of closure to the families of his victims, but the scars left by his crimes continue to linger.
The legacy of Ted Bundy extends beyond his gruesome acts. His case has become a cautionary tale for the criminal justice system and is subject of study in criminology. Bundy's ability to conceal his true nature challenges conventional notions of profiling and highlights of the complexity and to understand that preventing such heinous acts.
The story of Ted Bundy is a haunting exploration of the depths to which human depravity can descend. From a seemingly ordinary beginning to a spree of unspeakable acts, Bundy's life remains a dark chapter in criminal history. As society grapples with lingering questions surrounding this case, the podcast seeks to unravel the enigma that is Ted Bundy, providing listeners with a sobering reflection on nature of evil that can lurk behind a charming facade. So, Ted Bundy actually killed over 100 people, Ryan. What do you think about that?
It's really disgusting what he done, and especially to doing that to a young woman. Really, really disgusting, and yeah.
It's terrible. What do you think about it, Adam?
I think it's really messed up the fact that he even thought about that.
I agree. What about you, David?
Oh, I agree with both Ryan, Trent, and Adam. I'm just thankful that people got to, learn about Ted Bundy and hear all the things that he done to people. And it's known, so it won't ever happen again. It might, but, at least we're more cautious about it.
At
Yeah.
least he's gone now.
And not to the extreme that Ted Bundy did it.
I feel like his actions were terrible, and I think us learning about him would like prevent stuff like that in the future from happening again.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to our podcast. And yeah, we're signing out. We are the Grind Squad!